means that each and every one of us is functioning at a stage of consciousness. And again, each stage of consciousness has different levels in it. And today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 stages of this consciousness. So these are literally planes or states from which we create and we manifest. These are states from which we navigate life and we go through our day-to-day life. And as a result of being in each of these states, how we manifest, how we create, it is then in proportion to that level of consciousness and that stage of consciousness. And in order for you to grow from one level of consciousness to another, it's not just about what you know, right? Which is one, it's about what you embody. This is why I said consciousness is your level of awareness and embodiment, because it's the two. And the mistake that most people might make is thinking that consciousness is about what you know. But no, it's not about what you know. It's about what you embody. And what is embodiment? And what embodiment is literally what has become part and parcel of your character. It's literally when you become a personification of something. So if we say you are out of stage 1, level of consciousness in your stage of evolution, it means that you are a personification of the quality and the knowledge at that level, right? You're the personification of that. Your action, your attitude, your result reflect that level or that stage of consciousness. Does that make sense? So, and these stages are not a way of judging yourself. I just want to put that as a disclaimer. These stages are simply a way for you to look at your personal growth and your evolution and see where you need to do the work and how you can move and grow to the next level. And we all are students, right? We all are students of this work. And personally, we all are spiritual seekers. Even me, I am on my own personal evolution and growth journey. So I'm not the guru who has it all figured out, because at the end of the day, we all are still growing and expanding. And the moment we stop growing and expanding, we stop existing, right? And we stop really fulfilling our purpose for being here on earth, which is shifting our consciousness. So that is it for the stages of consciousness, and that's a quick disclaimer. So and another disclaimer is that I'm not sharing you with this so that you start literally putting people in boxes, because here's the thing. As I share this and you become aware of these things, your brain is literally going to start noticing it in people. You're going to start seeing where people are functioning, what stage of consciousness they are. And if you realize that you are a little bit above them in your stage of consciousness, your ego might set in that moment to try to want to make you feel like you're better than them in any way, right? But that is instead the opposite of what should be, because what should be is that instead of judgment, when you realize that somebody is operating from a lower stage or level of consciousness than you are supposed to use curiosity and compassion on them. You are supposed to be curious to understand, okay, that thing, okay, maybe they are at this stage of consciousness, and why are they acting like this? Okay, they are at this stage of consciousness, and because they are at this stage of consciousness, it's okay, because at one point in your own life and on your own growth and expansion, you were also at that stage, and you were manifesting as they do, and you were trying to create your reality with the consciousness that they have. So that is the second disclaimer for you to know. Be curious and don't use this as a way of judging others. Instead, use this as a way of being compassionate towards others, having an understanding of their perspective, and therefore being able to hold and relate with them even at that level of their consciousness. So the first stage of consciousness is the consciousness at the bottom, and personally, I'm going to call that to me consciousness. So to me consciousness is a state of consciousness where when somebody is in that stage, they actually feel like everything is happening to them, and that's why I call it to me consciousness. It means that they are at a place where they feel like life is just happening to them, and they really don't have control of anything that is happening. And literally, at this stage, they feel like a victim. So this is the state of victimhood, and this is the state of feeling powerless. This is the state where someone doesn't have any personal responsibility for anything that is happening to them, right? And this would be something like when someone is in that state where they just feel like, oh God, life is happening to me, and everything is happening to me. I am this because of where I come from. My country is the reason why I can create my dream life. The background from which I come from, my past, the trauma that I've experienced is the reason why I am here. So literally the person into me literally put blame on everything that is outside of them as a reason to why they are not creating the life that they want. So they lack responsibility. You lack self-responsibility. You're not taking responsibility for what is happening and actually realizing that you're the creator. So this person is blind to the fact that they are the one manifesting their reality. They literally live in ignorance, and also because they are ignorant, most of them are literally in that level of insanity, like they are in that level of victimhood. So people like this are easily triggered, right? You're easily triggered when people sometimes, let's say someone does something, it really affects you because the way in your psyche that you perceive information and the way that your consciousness is everything is happening to me. So when somebody does something, even if it's not with you in mind, you're going to personalize that thing and internalize it. So this is literally the victim consciousness. And the theme belief here is I am a victim. Everything is happening to me. Those are like the two common beliefs that they have, right? And their theme emotion, the emotion that they are grounded in this phase is blame. So they are always looking to blame someone, blame something that is on the external of themselves for the result that they are creating. And they are always blaming themselves and talking negative to themselves. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. And is this person's fault? Is that thing's fault? So they are these projectors who are always projecting their lack of results and their lack of transformation on something on the outside of them, right? So remember, key emotion here is blame, and their key command is that they are a victim and that everything is happening to them. So I call that level 1 consciousness and the to me consciousness. Now, from that level of consciousness, when you do inner work, right? And the inner work that you do here is learning to take responsibility, right? When you do inner work, which I'm going to talk about, you now move into stage 2. So the stage 2 is the by me consciousness. So in the by me consciousness, now you have started to awaken to your personal power, right? You have started to awaken, and your mindset in this state, your way of thinking and your thread of thought is I am the creator. So because you're awakened to that you are the creator, in this state you start achieving, right? So your command, your big belief is I can do anything that I want. I can do anything that I want, and I create my reality. So those are like your two beliefs. I create my reality and I can be anything that I desire. So in this level, there's a sense of responsibility that you have taken, right? You have been awakened to your personal power to realize that, hey, you are actually creating everything, unlike the person in stage 1. So you know that you are the creator of your reality. So you have taken that sense of personal power. And in this phase, your personal power has been activated. So what is personal power? Personal power is knowing that is learning to create your reality from inside out and not from outside in. So the person on the level 1 is in circumstantial power, right? Circumstantial power is when circumstances determine what we do, be, or have, and our reaction and all of that. Why the personal power determined by the person, why the person in personal power, their internal state, actually, they know that that's what creates their results and not their circumstances. So when someone is in that second state, they are an overachiever, right? They are an overachiever. You start creating. This is the person who makes things happen. And in this phase, most people in the personal development space are in this phase 2. They're in phase 2 consciousness, and this is where great teachers, motivational speakers, mindset work, emotional work, this is where it really comes in, because now you're starting to realize, I am the creator, right? And if I'm the creator, I mean, I'm manifesting my reality. Therefore, if I've manifested this, I can manifest something else. So in this state, you have literally done your work to actually activate your personal power. So for someone who in stage 1, who you still feel like a victim, like everything is happening to you, you have no control, and you're just a victim, the inner work that you need to do here to go from phase 1 consciousness, which is stage 1, to stage 2 consciousness is 1, you need to take personal responsibility, let go of blame. So you need to realize that nothing is really happening to you. You are creating it, right? So that is, you take responsibility. Hey, in what way am I creating what I'm creating right now, right? And then the second thing is that you activate your personal power. You realize that your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs is what is driving your results right now. It's driving how you feel. And the way you're feeling is not because of what that person has done to you or that person said to you the other day. It's because of what you're thinking about what they said. So the person in phase 1, someone is going to tell you you're stupid, and you're going to believe that, and that is really going to trigger you and determine your emotional state, because of course it's a circumstance, so it's going to actually get you angry. But as you get in phase 2, you start realizing that, hey, somebody telling me you're stupid doesn't mean anything about me. It's their projection. What am I making that mean? What am I making what they said mean? How am I interpreting this? And how am I making this be true or false about me? So for that to happen, for you to go from stage 1 to phase 2, you get into your personal power. So the disadvantage for phase 1 though is that somewhere in that consciousness, you can't really create your reality. You're just moving through life and you're full of blame. In stage 2, you are actually in the achiever mode. And what happens is that in this phase, you actually get into the super achiever. And when you are in the super achiever, you are always trying to make things happen and you are in control. And because you feel this sense of control, most entrepreneurs are here, and you easily can feel burnout. And not only burnout, you easily can start resenting your life, and you easily actually work really hard. You are actually like the go-getter, like hard work. And because you're working so hard, because you're doing so much, you burn out. And because you burn out, you lose, how do they call it? Passion for the work that you do. And life becomes hard. So because you're trying to muscle your way through it, because you know you are the creator, and because you are the creator, you have to make things happen, and that is hard at times, and that actually can get that can get hard. So after that stage, we now get into stage 3 consciousness. So in someone in stage 3 consciousness, it's someone who is now realizing that, hey, is in the through me consciousness, right? And in the through me consciousness, this person has literally shifted from realizing that, hey, everything, I'm the one creating everything, to actually everything is happening through me. Right? So now this person is literally actually awakened to kind of like who they are as a spirit, and more than who they are as a soul. So level 1 consciousness is somebody who is literally moved by the senses, right? They are moved by how they feel, they think, they are moved by their body and their physical senses. Level 2 is someone who is moved by the mind, like they're so much into mindset work, person shifting their limiting belief, and all of these internal hidden work, like they are doing the inner, especially mind work, they are doing belief work, they are doing identity work, they are doing self-development, reinventing themselves. They are doing all of that work so that they can create, right? And that is the intention. But now the person who is in stage 3 level of consciousness, you have realized that, hey, you're now awakened to who you are in your spiritual journey. And this is where the phase where spiritual awakening start happening. You stop seeing yourself as a creator, and not just seeing yourself, but you stop living as a creator and you start living as a vessel, and you start living as a channel, right? And you start realizing that, hey, I'm not creating everything by my own. There is a higher force, and I am not just a higher force, I am a spirit. I am a spirit being, and because I'm a spirit being, this realm of 3D is actually the realm of effect. So who I am in the spirit, and how can I embody more of my higher self, and therefore allow the higher source, the universe himself or God to actually flow through me and work through me. And this is when you become magic on legs. This is when you become unpredictable. This is when you navigate life differently. And most people don't really understand you and the way you create, because now you are walking in the realm of the supernatural, right? Not by changing your thinking, but because your identities are shifted and because you have transcended that limited identity as a whole. So the person in the level 2, you still have this consciousness that I'm a creator, and because you still have that consciousness and you believe that it's your mind and all of these things that create your result, there's so many limitations that you have because your mind is limited, you have limiting belief, you have all of these. But when you transcend that identity as a whole, no longer you see yourself as this person that you actually see yourself. No longer do I see myself as this Sonita that I see in the camera talking to you right now. I start seeing myself as a spirit. And when I start seeing myself as spirit, I identify as that, and that is my level of consciousness. So my level of consciousness is, how can I navigate life and create and manifest as the spirit instead of as changing my mind and my belief, yeah? So here, your level of consciousness totally shift. And now you start co-creating. You start co-creating you with the universe. You start surrendering more and letting God work through you, spirits work through you, and letting angels create with you. And now you have a spiritual team. You start working with a spiritual team, and they walk through you and they manifest through you. This is when you quantum leap and you don't make sense. This is when most people start not understanding you, because now you're not operating like the normal people, and most people can see you as crazy, as not normal, as talking shits that are really out of this world, and as, being a weirdo. And this is okay, because this literally shows that you are a level in your stage of consciousness. And when you are in this level, the truth is that now you're no longer attached to things, you're no longer attached to stuff. And because you live in this that detached and surrendered energy, things actually flow through you, right? So now you become instead of you, for example, trying to make money and trying to manifest money, you start walking hand in hand with money. Money starts flowing through you. So you start becoming a channel, and you no longer have to try to make money. You simply align with money and let money fulfill its purpose through you, because now you see life from a perspective of everything is energy and everything is spirit. So money is spirit, and because it's a spirit that I can allow to flow through me. So this is a level of co-creation, right? Where you see yourself as an intangible being, and you are manifesting now from that state of consciousness. And now in this stage, you are fully awakened. So how do you go from stage 3 to stage 4? Stage 2 to stage 3. The thing is that the person in stage 2, you are in control, right? Remember I mentioned control. You're trying to make things happen. So, but when you want to go from stage 2 to stage 3, what you need to master is surrender. You need to first of all surrender and really be awakened to who you truly are. And you have to surrender your current self. You have to surrender your current beliefs. You have to surrender your whole identity as a whole. And you have to let go. Let go of control. You have to let go of control of your current identity. Let go of control of your current belief. Let go of control and simply become a channel. Become a channel through which source, God, energy can flow through. And actually, you let go of, you die. This is when you die to self, right? This is when your ego is in being, and you begin integrating your ego, and you begin dying to this construct that you've had, which is you are the mind, you start dying to all of that. And as you die to all of that, you become selfless. And because you become selfless, money just flows through you. You no longer are trying to manifest, you actually start becoming the manifestation, right? Now, this is just the fourth level of consciousness, because in this, with this third stage of consciousness, you still though see yourself as you are separate, right? There's still a level of separation that you are functioning in. You still see yourself separate from self, from source, from God himself, separate from money. But even though you see yourself as a spirit, you still see yourself as a separate spirit. You see yourself as a separate spirit, as a separate entity, as separate from everything, right? And when you are now you're ascending into the stage 4, you start seeing yourself as one with all things, as everything. Like you start seeing yourself as God himself, and not as part of God, and not just as a fractal of the divine, like someone who is in the phase 3 consciousness. So when you're in that phase 3, you start seeing yourself as part of everything and as God in everything, because the truth is, all that there is God. You start living, and this is what I call the as me consciousness. And as me consciousness means that everything is as you, everything is you, and there's no separation and there's no division. And personally, this is my own work. This is where I'm walking towards. Like, this is literally in spirituality where we say you are in an enlightened state, right? Where you have literally become one with all things. This is the level where you become and you start saying, I am my Father or one, like Jesus was, right? And if you notice, if you want to manifest in this level, you literally are existing as everything that you are, and there's no longer need, there's no longer want, there's no longer desire, because now you've come to this state of consciousness that I am everything that I desire, I am everything that I need, and everything that I need is me. There's no separation. Money is not separate from me. I am money, and because I am money, I simply exist. And because you exist as it, when it comes, you never really have it. You never really have the need for it. You never really have to want to try to manifest it. You just are, because you are it. You and it are one, and you have awakened to that level of consciousness. So how you go from stage 3 consciousness to integrating in stage 4 is literally by letting go of the illusion of separation. Because here's the thing, the illusion that everything is separate. Everything is not separate. It's an illusion. It's an illusion because it's not true. The reality is that all is one. I didn't say all are one source, because if you still believe that everything is from one source, it means that you're still in phase 3 consciousness. You still see it as separate, but all is one, because God is simply one being that is made up of all beings, and all beings is it, and everything is it, and it is everything. So he or God or it is everything, and you are all of it and all of him, and he is all of you. So there's no separation between you and universe. There's only all that there is fusion. It's like let me do an illustration with this ring, right? And this water. Let's say this is you. When you start realizing, hey, I'm a spirit, instead you stop realizing, you stop identifying as the drink in the cup, you start identifying as so let's say somebody in phase 1 is going to be identifying as this, what you see, like this, right? All what you see. Somebody in phase 2 will be identifying as the glass itself. Somebody in phase 3 will be identifying as the water. But now this is God, right? So when you get to stage 4 consciousness, no longer do you identify as water. You actually identify as everything. Like the water I'm pouring in here, the more I'm pouring the water, the more it's becoming the drink. Like it becomes one, and everything is fused. Everything is fused, and there's no separation. So when you are operating in this state of consciousness, money is no longer separate from you. Money is something you already are. Money is who you are. Money is your innate ability. And personally, I'm still working on grounding or actually on my own personal growth, because this is a whole journey. It's a high level of consciousness that can be so hard for most people to really embody, not just understand, because this is not about mental thing, but it's about embodying. So look at your life right now, not in what you know. Let's analyze your life, not what you know, not what you believe in, but how you are living. What is your embodiment? In which of these stages are you embodied? How you know if you're embodied? Let's look, for example, in stage 1. If somebody still says something to you and you make that mean something about you and it triggers you and it gets you angry, you are still in phase 1 consciousness. It doesn't matter if you're doing your mindset, maybe you're just in the level in phase 1 that is closer to stage 2, because now each of these stages has level. Each of these stages has like 3 levels, right? And in the next video, I'm going to go into the levels of consciousness and the map. We are going to go into the map and see everything detailedly. But now in each of these stages, you may be closer to the other stage, right? You may be in a phase that is closer to in an intermediate phase, right? And that is okay. But it's like, what is your embodiment? Because consciousness is not what you know, and manifestation is not about what you know, it's what you are living. What is your embodiment? If somebody comes in your life, what would they say you've embodied? Would they say that you've embodied the oneness consciousness, but you still see everything as good and bad, negative and positive? Or would they say, if somebody comes into your life, would they say you identify as the mind and you talk about, or would they say you identify as a spirit? If I meet you and you never have to talk to me and tell me, and I live with you for 5 months, what would I see? What will I see from your embodiment as your way of life? Because that determines your stage of consciousness. So these are the stages of consciousness, and hope this was helpful. And if you've not watched the other video, the live stream, it is linked here. You can click here to watch that video to learn more about this the dimension, the different dimension. So when you're operating in each of these different stages, it determines the dimension you are in, right? For example, if you're in stage 1 consciousness, you're operating from the 3rd dimension. If you're in stage 2 consciousness, you're operating from the 4th dimension. If you're in stage 3 consciousness, you're operating in the 5th dimension. And if you're in stage 4 consciousness, you are already operating the 6th dimension and above, right? And all the higher dimensions of existence and planes of existence. So that is this for the dimensions, the stages of consciousness. Hope this was helpful to you, and see you in the next one.